Yep.
So, Greg, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about what we can expect over the next say 72 hours.
Of course, we've been talking about this for a while, and the situation is that this could potentially be the second greatest snowstorm ever here in Southeast Texas.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you go back to 1895, that's the benchmark. And 30 inches of snow, we definitely don't want any part of that.
You're not touching that.
No, but the other is 4.4, which is 1960. We have a decent chance of shattering that record.
Yeah, some of the numbers, of course, we've been very conservative in our approach to the systems that's come in. But as each passing run gets in, now we're into the mesoscale model data that's available to us, and some of these numbers keep inching up.
Yeah, and the actual positioning of where this snow band is going to make its appearance, because these things follow distinctive bands usually, where you'll have a space where there's not much snow, then real heavy snow, then further north, not so much. So it's real hard to determine where that band is going to form exactly.
And this is all due to an upper level low that is going to be kind of working across South Texas and eventually into the Gulf of Mexico. And having winter storm experience up into the upper Midwest, a shift, and I mean a minuscule shift in that upper low can make a huge difference in snow totals, whether we get 7-8 inches or 0 inches. So if that low shifts another 30 miles to the south, we're cooked. We're not going to get anything.
We're not getting much of anything. So it's real critical now, and we'll get into this basically 24-hour window approaching where everything lines up, and we'll have a real good idea tomorrow morning exactly how this is going to transpire tomorrow night.
Yeah, and the good news is over the last 24 hours or so, the models have really kind of come together and kind of agree on a really good band of snow, basically from I-10 Highway 190 corridor down between Lumberton and Port Arthur.
Right,
that band there,
exactly in that general area.
And Highway 90.
And probably the heaviest of snow. All the models continue to emphasize Lake Charles to Lafayette, Baton Rouge. Maybe the peak area of snow, the way it's shaping up.
Fortunately, just off to our east. But again, we're still going to be dealing with a lot of issues starting late tomorrow night, continuing through Tuesday morning. Even Tuesday morning, even though we're going to be in the peak of the snow probably at that point, the worst conditions, I think, and we talked about this a little bit with some of the emergency managers, Wednesday morning, possibly even lingering into Thursday morning.
Right, because the danger there is, snow is one thing to drive on because we probably won't have any ice. It's just snowpack, which will be Tuesday morning. The issue would be the roads are going to be relatively warm, so there's going to be a little bit of melting of that snow after it stops, let's say Tuesday afternoon. Then the concern would be that refreezing, that snowpack refreezing at that point Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, because we think temperatures are going to get down to mid-teens. Because if you have snow on the ground, clear skies, perfect radiational conditions where you lose all the heat, it just goes up.
There's
nothing there. And mid-teens would just refreeze everything and then make it even more dangerous.
So a couple things we need to be concerned about going forward, obviously the snow, but let's talk pipes, dripping faucets, and a lot of folks asking questions about that on Facebook. And what is the time frame do you think that people need to start being concerned about?
I wouldn't be too concerned about tonight because it probably will not be sufficient. Normally get down to about 26, 25. It's borderline tonight, to be honest with you. So if you feel like you really need to do it, you can probably wait till midnight, 1 a.m. to drip for a while tonight, and then you'll be able to turn it back off because it's going to get above freezing tomorrow. There's no weather problems tomorrow, really, as far as travel goes. The concern would be you need to probably start dripping before you go to bed, certainly Monday night, because that's when we'll be below freezing, perhaps as much as 72 hours. I mean, if we don't get above freezing sometime Wednesday, we're going to be Thursday before we get above freezing.
36 to 48 hour stretch as far as temperatures go. We're talking just a drip, not a running stream or anything like that, just enough to keep the water moving.
And of course, I know that people at the public works in various cities are cringing at this moment because they don't like you to do that because it does lower the pressure. So really the best thing to do is to drain the lines, but most people are not going to want to do that, turn off their water to their house.
I know at the Knights of Columbus Hall, we went ahead and turned off our water the other day, which is obviously
because no one's staying there or whatever.
Exactly. So somebody was talking about the possibility of thunder snow. Do you think we could see thunder snow in some of this?
I think it's possible. In 21, we had thunder sleet.
Yes, we did.
Man, that was very unique. So these brighter bands, these heavier bands will sometimes be convective and mean there's thunderstorms. And that's a unique situation. Doesn't happen very often.
Let's see here if we have any questions. We got a lot of people talking to each other, so let's see if I can refresh this and get some new questions in here.
In
the meantime, Greg,
let's go through some graphics real quick. Sure.
Let's bring that up for you. We're going to start with our 6-hour satellite radar imagery. Today has actually been an absolute
it's in fact, if you didn't know by looking at what's happening on the general weather pattern right now, you think, how could it snow if it is pretty out there as it is now? It's clear, but that's all going to change as we work on in. And again, this is from the Weather Service. There is a winter storm warning that covers our entire viewing area from the lake south. Now, you get up north of Jasper County, Sabine County, up that way, Hemphill, back over toward, Corrigan Center, all those areas. They're pretty much out of that warning area.
Yeah, they're in a winter storm watch up there. You can see just behind the banners, some of that
Right.
blue shading there.
Right.
But again, it's
St. Augustine.
Yeah. So basically, we're looking at Highway 190 south. So
Yeah.
in northern Tyler, northern Jasper, northern Newton County, maybe not so much of an issue.
Right.
Certainly not what we're going to see in southern Hardin, Jasper, Newton, Orange, and Jefferson counties for sure. Even Chambers County as well. And right there along the coast.
Exactly. These are our current temperatures from our WeatherNet stations. By the way, I will point out that if we start getting snow, our rain gauges are not heated. Okay.
Yeah.
And why would you have heated rain gauges down here? Because we don't usually have ice or snow.
Right.
So what will happen on our rain sensors, they will stop up.
It'll be a delay.
There'll be a delay. So when it gets above freezing, we'll suddenly start seeing all this precipitation going through the system. And that's from the melted snow or ice.
Which is an interesting thing on that too, is because of the low liquid snow ratio, we can figure out exactly how much any one WeatherNet station got with reasonable assurance, because we can take the amount of moisture that falls through the rain gauge and then kind of add it up.
It's about a 10-to-1 ratio usually. It's a pretty standard ratio to
Down
use.
here, being as close to the Gulf, that's going to be pretty standard. You get up north in some of the colder environments, you can get some 20, 25-to-1 ratios.
Right.
And that's when you get those 35 and 40-inch snowfalls of just fluffy, dry snow.
This will not be a fluffy snow, I'm afraid.
No.
It's going to be pretty wet. And you can see already we're getting close to freezing. At Beech Grove is down to 33. So already starting to get to that point. And then you go down to the Triangle, we're dropping into the 30s as well. Even at the beach, Highland at 39. So it's getting cold across the board. And we do expect a mid-20s in most areas by morning. Moisture, you got to have moisture, right, to cause precipitation. Right now, we're bone dry. You can see on our scale. Yeah, on our scale, you can see dry is that purplish shade all over the place. But watch what happens as we roll forward. By Monday morning, we're already starting to see some moisture pooling up to our northwest, and also it'll be coming in from the south off the Gulf. So by Monday evening, there's a ton of moisture available at that point to produce that snow.
The other thing we're seeing there, Greg, you notice how rapidly those arrows are moving across. Those are the 700 millibar, about 3,000 foot winds. And at that point, those winds are really cranking. We're talking probably 90 to 100 knots at that level.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of energy that's going to be coming across.
Yeah, 10,000 feet there. Right.
Yeah. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at, is the moisture and the energy coming together to produce these snows that we're talking about. And
of course, the heaviest, see where that's converging there? You have kind of westerly winds around Lufkin, southwest winds coming in. That's where a lot of your lift is occurring there, right across us at 7 a.m. That's probably when the heaviest snow is going to happen, around daybreak or shortly thereafter.
Yeah, morning commute on Tuesday is not going to be fun for folks.
No.
So again, if you don't have to get out, the good news is schools have already been canceled for Tuesday. And then a lot of places are starting to cancel for Wednesday as well, which is also probably a very good idea given the freezing and refreezing of the moisture on the roads.
But here's what happens later on. You can see by afternoon, it's over, dry air returns, and we shut off all the snow, probably by noontime.
Somebody said, Uncle Chad and Cousin Chad and Uncle Greg leading us through.
So I'm the unc and you're the cuz, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure we got that right. But it's going to be, probably 18 hours of precipitation at the most.
Yeah.
At the most. All right. And you can see later on it clears out. Now, this is the problem here. We got so much drier, we'll clear, and we'll refreeze anything that might try to melt Tuesday afternoon. We'll just go right back to not snow this time, but going to be ice.
And that's where the black ice comes in.
Black ice. And I would very much think at this point, the big bridges we have here, like MLK, the Intercoastal Waterway Bridge down toward Sabine Pass, of course, the Rainbow Bridge, those guys are going to be shut down. I cannot see any way possible they'll be able to stay open once all this starts up Monday night to Tuesday morning. Some have asked about the Purple Heart Memorial Bridge, which is Interstate 10. I know the Highway Department will make every effort possible to keep that one open, but it too could have some problems as well. So I think the bottom line is just probably stay at home if you can Tuesday morning, all day Tuesday, and maybe even into a good chunk of Wednesday.
All right, let's answer some of these questions, Greg. Let's
sure.
Back here and head back to the camera. You can see our wonderful faces in our Sunday best.
I'm very casual today, as you can see.
You and me both. Anyway, So let's see. We're expecting freezing temperatures Thursday morning as well.
Yes, absolutely. No
Yeah.
question.
I was looking at some of the numbers. While we're going to be in the teens on Wednesday, and we'll see some sunshine on Wednesday afternoon. Mid to upper 20s is probably where we're going to be on Thursday morning, is what some of the numbers are coming in at.
Right.
So refreezing on
And it
Thursday.
could be even colder than that in some
Definitely
spots. Yeah.
extended. What is considered a winter storm watch? And let's see, it's now until Wednesday. It's actually been upgraded to a winter storm warning, meaning we're inside of that 36-hour window where the snow conditions we've been talking about for a few days are into play. Usually 60 to 36 hours it's a watch,
Right.
and then as things become a little bit more intimate, that's when the warnings
It's kind of similar to a hurricane watch and warning.
Exactly.
Watching means you're watching out for it. The warning means it's happening. It's going to happen.
There's been some rumbles too of a possible blizzard coming with this, and the only distinction between blizzard and winter storm warning are your wind speeds that come in. Sustained 35 plus mile an hour winds. I don't think the winds will be that strong.
No, they should not be.
We'll get some gusts maybe up approaching that, but as far as blizzard conditions,
true blizzard is not going to happen. But visibilities will be low at times, and
anytime
very
you get
restricted.
snow in particular, and if you're looking to the north or looking in one particular direction, you start seeing the visibilities drop. That's when you're going to start seeing that snow move in.
Right, exactly. Anything else?
Let's see here. Freezing temperatures Thursday as well. What time Monday night will we have to worry about ice forming? And right now, again, we don't think ice is going to be a big issue. We think maybe some sleet, and I think the best chance of that's going to be right along the coast, anywhere from Chambers County over to Sabine Pass, Holiday Beach, that area. I think for the most part, and we talked about earlier in the week, the upper level conditions and the temperatures at the various levels of the atmosphere. Right. And right now it looks like we're going to stay below freezing all the way up from top to bottom in the atmosphere, which keeps us a snow event.
Yeah, it's called a sounding, where you try to estimate what the temperatures are going to be at different levels. And everything we see says it's below freezing pretty much all the way up.
Yeah, well, south of I-10 see a lot of snow.
They may see the most, actually. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because the trend has been over the last 12 hours for this band to be at least forecast. Now, remember, this is a forecast. It's forecast to be a little further south. So right now, the main band, according to the computer models, which may be wrong, from Galveston Bay right across mid-county over to Lake Charles. So it's right in that general zone.
It's going to kind of an east to northeast movement to the band as it moves from west to east. So let's see, some good questions here. What about Trinity County, Greg?
They're so far north that they are not going to see much. I mean, 1 to 2 is what I would expect up there. I mean, they're going to have a pretty good amount of snow, but their travel problems will be there, but not as significant as down further south.
Let's see here. Same story with St. Augustine.
Sabine County. Yeah, 1 to 2 is about it.
When will it start and when will it stop? Well, we think snow could begin as early as 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, especially in some of our western and northern western counties. And then, of course, the snow continues most of the night into Tuesday. It's going to be early to mid Tuesday afternoon when we start to see the snow starting to wind down here in southeast Texas. And at that point, things should clear out pretty quickly, and that's going to lead to that clear and cold night.
It'll move through rapidly. But as far as the heaviest snow, it'll probably be around daybreak to maybe mid-morning in that general frame.
Diana wants to know, will we have thunder and lightning with the unstable atmosphere?
Yeah, we talked about that. Thunder snow.
Everybody's wanting thunder snow.
Yeah.
And I can promise you we will not be outside doing the Jim Cantori.
No, we will not. We will not. No.
Let's see here. South of I-10, starting to get a lot of questions. This is great. Keep them up, guys. Let's see here. Let's see. Convective snow. Yes, we talked about that. Travel start to get dangerous. That's the question there.
You know, I wouldn't be out past 2 or 3 in the morning on Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
I mean, by then things are really going to be going downhill.
Yeah, once you get home from work and things like that on Monday, of course, most folks' good news is they got
it's MLK holiday.
MLK holiday.
Yeah.
So once you get past dark on Monday, especially with the deteriorating conditions that we're going to see here in Southeast Texas, there's really no need to get out on the road. And judging by the crowds at the grocery stores this weekend, nobody will be out getting supplies because they've already gotten them.
And a lot of businesses are already said they're going to be closed on Tuesday. A lot of the schools are closed down not just Tuesday but Wednesday
as well.
Which is a good call. And I think there's going to be some may have to close on Thursday. It just depends on how much snow we get. I mean, if we get 5-6 inches of snow, it's going to be very difficult to move around here even Thursday morning.
You had a conference call with some of the emergency managers earlier this evening. And some of the discussions were on some of the bridges. What were some of the chats, if you can get
basically we're all in agreement, and that's what I was telling them, that MLK, of course, the Rainbow Bridge, there's the Intercoastal Waterway Bridge down South Port Arthur that connects up to Sabine Pass, are really going to have a difficult time staying open. And we all know the Rainbow Bridge. It's that I can't imagine it was stable. The question may be like, for example, Purple Heart Memorial Bridge, which is a Nature's River Bridge over Interstate 10. Can they keep that open? Because if we shut down Rainbow and we shut down the Nature's River Bridge, what you got left? You probably can't even go across on 96 there, because that's a pretty good bridge across the Nature's River at Evadale.
Yeah.
It may be ineffective to even try to go east and west at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You know, TxDOT is going to do everything in their power to try and keep that main artery here open. The last thing we want to see is trucks backed up. We saw it last winter with the ice storm that we had. You know, the bridge at going across into Louisiana had an accident on it and was shut down for like 8 hours. Traffic was backed up all over the place.
The good news Tuesday morning, though, if it's just all snow, it'll be easier to drive on that. But still, like on MLK and Rainbow, with the steep elevation,
it's going to freeze a lot.
It's going to freeze, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing too is that they'll be at least the Purple Heart Bridge for sure, they'll be continually treating that to try and help alleviate some of the freezing. And the more traffic that goes across it, that road's going to stay a little bit warmer as we go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. For essential personnel, how will road conditions be from Lumberton to downtown Beaumont?
Treacherous, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, not as bad as maybe going over some of the bridges, but
you do have that bridge at Pineline Bayou. You got to be concerned with that one.
It is a major artery going north and south here in southeast Texas, so that will also be treated very well, as will most of the major arteries. It's the side streets and some of that kind of stuff that you really got to kind of watch out for. So,
right.
Let's see here. Somebody missed the first piece. How many inches for Port Arthur? We're still looking 3 to 5.
3 to 5, yeah.
6, not impossible. I think the further east you go, the chances are seeing a little bit higher snow totals, especially as you go maybe into eastern Orange County, eastern Jasper, Newton County, over into southwest Louisiana.
And the best way to measure snow, I know some people are going to try to measure, is like on a picnic table or something like that. A flat surface, a uniform, not in the dirt or ground because it's too uneven.
Yeah.
And you made a good point, because I haven't dealt with snow very often, but you get snow compaction.
Yeah.
When you have a heavy, wet snow, you may actually have more falling than you think.
Yeah, exactly. What you're talking about there is, you know, here in southeast Texas, the surfaces are still pretty warm, even though we've spent a few days below freezing now. So what will happen is that snow will fall and instantly melt. And you can't measure melted snow because it's just liquid at that point.
Right.
So, again, we may get 6 inches in some places, but it may only look like 3 on the ground or measure out to 3 just because it compacts and melts right away.
Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about there. So, again, 3 to 5 widespread across the area. Let's see. Is storm chasing and meteorology a good career? That's what I want to do when I grow up.
Well, yeah, I know some of those storm chases make a lot of money.
Yeah, if you get the right video and catch the right time.
Exactly. Some of them take tours and all that type of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Jackson, good luck to you, buddy.
Yeah.
South of Interstate 10, see lots of snow. I think lots of snow is a variable term, but looks like they could see most of the snow compared to everybody
if that
else.
band sets up, actually, even as I mentioned earlier, some of the platforms, some of the folks out there will actually probably have snow on the platforms.
Yep. What time should all this start Monday night as far as the roads go? It looks like, again, we're talking anytime after sunset, but we think probably between 8 and midnight is when things start to slowly wind down. And then from there, after midnight, you definitely probably don't want to be on the roads at that point.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll keep going. A lot of drip faucets tonight, not necessarily.
If you want, it's like I said, it's kind of marginal because we do expect some mid-20s, but I would not do it now. There's no reason to. We're not at freezing yet.
Right.
You need to kind of monitor, and this is why I'll put in a little plug for our WeatherNet app.
Oh yeah.
Download that WeatherNet app. You go to the app store. It's the KFDM WeatherNet, and it actually has a mapping capability. You can see what the temperatures are looking like, and when you see around your location it's actually reached freezing, it's time to maybe start doing that dripping routine, because I really think most areas, at least around the triangle, probably won't hit freezing until close to midnight tonight. It's already pretty close up in the lakes.
Right. So WeatherNet, I'm going to bring it up on my phone real quick.
Okay.
And if the term WeatherNet will come up right at the top. If you hold that, you get a little map and you can zoom in here on the temperatures. You probably can't see it on my phone.
Yeah.
But, it's right there, and you can see all the temperatures of the 90+ weather stations we have across.
And we're adding more still.
A couple more. But yeah, so if we're not exactly in your area, there's a good chance that there is a WeatherNet station close by, so you'll be able to get some reliable data for your area. So will the roads be drivable Thursday morning?
Questionable.
Very questionable. Certainly by Thursday afternoon, as we get about freezing things.
They'll be done with it at that point.
Yeah, and then at that point, we're clear sailing into the weekend, so that's good. What should we expect in Jasper? Again, probably 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3 on the high side there up into the lakes. Certainly, they're going to be probably if you want to say dodging the bullet, that would be probably a good term up in Jasper as compared to what we're going to see a little bit.
Yeah,
further to the
that
south.
again, it just depends on exactly where that band's going to go. And I use a term in some of my posts this morning of now casting.
Yes.
And that's what it becomes. We're entering the phase of what's happening now, observing radar, and especially when the snow starts, we'll have a better idea where this band is setting up.
Yeah, Tuesday morning in the morning show, we probably won't get a lot of the 7-day forecast and that type of thing. We'll probably be doing a lot of radar, a lot of temperature trends across the area, that type of thing, wind speeds.
And maybe some of our cameras, hopefully, be working.
Cameras, hopefully they stay up and don't lose electricity, that kind of thing. The one thing that we had to worry about a lot in South Dakota is we get a lot of snow. The snow covered the lens. So
yes, and that'll be an issue here, I'm sure.
That'll be an issue too. So
right.
We'll hopefully 7 of the cameras I know are up. We're hoping the 8th we can get repaired before tomorrow.
Okay,
so we'll
see.
See how that goes. We have an issue with the Nature's River Wheelhouse right now. So let's see. Keep going down. Let's see here. Winding down. Greg, let's go through the maps one more time.
Yeah, in fact, we didn't show a couple maps here. We'll back it up here.
Chances of power outages. Again, the good news is that we're not dealing with ice. When we had last year in the winter storm that we had last year with the freezing rain, that was the main issue because the freezing rain gets on the tree limbs, weighs those tree limbs down, they break, they hit power lines and go that way. Snow will fall through it. It will be some heavy snow at times, but again, the power outages should be a lot less due to this type of precipitation that we saw last year. So power outages, there'll probably be a few. Not going to say that there won't be, but to the wide scope scale that we saw last year.
Not like 21, where we had so much ice. And of course, it really caused havoc at that point. And of course, for those of you around in 97, that was horrific. We had over an inch of ice. And that really caused problems. But you can go ahead and get some more credit. I'll go over the graphics one more time while you're doing that. This is the winter storm warning, which in fact it does include all of our counties except up to the north of Tyler, Jasper, Newton County. That's the center up that way, San Augustine, Hemp Hill. You're under a watch still because of the track of this. Looks like it's be further south toward Interstate 10. The warning means we do expect significant travel problems, significant snowfall amounts in those areas until it's actually, like I said, out until late Tuesday. Realistically, it's over pretty much as far as any precipitation by close to noon on Tuesday.
Real quick, Greg, couple of questions. Guy says he works in Louisiana, lives in Texas, gets off at midnight Monday. Will his drive be safe?
I don't really like that. Yeah, you're on the edge.
Right on the edge. I'd say monitor the conditions.
Yeah.
If things start a little bit slower, you might be okay. But if they start a little earlier, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Keep going, Greg.
Okay, I'll go ahead and these are the current temperatures. Look at that. Beech Grove has already hit freezing, 31 degrees below, and 32 now at Roganville, 32 in Newton. So we're already starting to see freezing temperatures scattered across the lakes. Hardin County, you're generally running the mid to upper 30s. Again, this is from our KFDM WeatherNet app. You can get that as a free download for iPhones and for Androids. So both of those are supported. And you can see upper 30s right now around the triangle, about 40 along the Bolivar. Bolivar Peninsula may get some snow as well. We think there's a good chance you guys down at the beach will have some snow as well.
There was a question about accumulating ice down at the beach. What do you think about that, Greg?
Don't think so. I mean, I think this is still a snow event for them. I just don't see any freezing rain down there out of this. The temperature profile supports snow versus anything else. Moisture is dry now as we go through time. Tomorrow morning, the moisture starts to increase, especially up toward Dallas, and it comes in off the Gulf too. So we kind of converge at that point. So some of the highest moisture levels from Monday evening at 7 until Tuesday morning at 7. And you notice it's starting to move out of North Texas by daybreak on Tuesday, and it rapidly moves out of here by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon. So we'll shut this snow off probably by about noontime, if not sooner, coming up on Tuesday. So the heaviest snow will fall at that time.
I had a couple questions about timing of the bridge closure. Did you get any information?
No, I mean, there's no way I've figured that out. They won't close it until precipitation obviously starts.
Right.
So until it starts to snow, it'll stay open. But as soon as it probably starts to snow, I would imagine it will be in short order be closed.
A couple of folks from Deweyville concerned they've still got their basketball games that are scheduled for Monday night, not expecting to end late. They travel to Silsbee, back and forth to Silsbee. So
I think they're fine, probably. I mean, I don't see any significant problems till close to midnight. It's going to take a while for anything to happen there.
It'll be close. Again, a lot of schools have canceled games Monday and Tuesday. So just I'm sure that's probably up in the air, and there'll be some decisions to be made tomorrow afternoon for sure.
Right.
Let's see here. A lot of folks thanking us for doing the Facebook Live and answering questions. Our pleasure. Let's see here. Somebody said this ain't funny no more. Y'all can turn the heat back on.
Yeah. I appreciate that one.
Yeah, for the right price, I will climb and clean your cameras.
Okay.
Okay, Karen.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We said thunder, snow, potential. We
Yeah,
didn't say for sure,
possible.
Definitely watch out for that. That's certainly something that is very unique to Southeast.
Yes, that doesn't happen very often.
Let's see here. Thanks for keeping us updated. Please let us know about the Deweyville-Silsbee. We just talked about that a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We don't have a camera on our KFD WeatherNet station at Barbers Hill, but it's connected to our technology building. Yeah, we hope it stays online too. That's always good to have. Let's see here. Other than that, it's a bunch of thanks and that type of thing. Live in Beaumont, work in Liberty, Monday into Tuesday night, stay off the roads. Exactly. Driving conditions Wednesday morning in Hardin County will be nasty to say the least.
Right.
What is thunder snow?
It's a thunderstorm has snow. It's that rain.
It's a cold thunder snow.
Yeah. Right.
This is much better than tracking the recent tornadoes in this area. I think I'd have to agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
No complaint there. No contradictions there.
Let me. I'll show this graphic here real quick. I haven't actually shown this one yet.
Okay.
This is one of our computer models we use. It's usually fairly accurate. And you can see we have north winds right now, and we'll roll this forward and see that really even to tomorrow morning it's still sunny. Clear. You can see the clouds though starting around San Antonio, and they rapidly advance in as we work through the day. And you can see that precipitation is just starting to break out around San Antonio. The blue is snow. The purple is a mix. So that could be snow or sleet, both.
I would imagine when the cloud cover rolls in, it's not going to be that high, thin, cirrus cloud that rolls in. It's going to be that low, gray, hanging, nasty type cloud cover that's going to be around for a while.
A little bit of snow starting to break out northwest of Lufkin. And then it rapidly expands as we work on into the early morning hours, Monday night into early Tuesday.
The interesting thing about this computer model is that even though the low is coming from our south, the snow starts from the north and moves south.
Yeah, that is a little bit interesting.
So
yeah,
we'll have to keep an eye on that.
And you've got snow down Interstate 10. Then, of course, it expands. There's your heaviest snow, probably about that time, 6 a.m. Even out in the Gulf, there will be a mixture of sleet and snow well offshore.
We talked about it a little bit. We talked about the potential for ice down along the coast. You see here by this computer model, most of it stays Bolivar and then south over towards Galveston and down the coast from there. So it does look like most of Southeast Texas at this point is going to be outside of that icy sleet precipitation.
All right, we'll roll forward up to 1:30, and it's pretty much done there. See, the back edge of the snow is past Lake Charles, is over Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and maybe some of the heaviest snow may fall from Lafayette to Baton Rouge and over toward Hammond. That general area could see a considerable amount. We're starting to clear already, and this is one of the concerns. If we do get a little bit of sun, we get a little melting going on, and then we're going to refreeze everything. 7 o'clock in the evening on Tuesday, we're probably mostly clear, and then this model actually wants to make a little bit of fog there early Wednesday morning, which is not impossible either. Sometimes you get freezing fog, which could be an issue too.
That's when you get it hanging in the trees and that kind of thing.
Right, and temperatures will be so cold.
That's actually when you get some of the prettiest pictures too, especially in some of the piney woods. You get some of that freezing fog. Speaking of pictures, we want to see all your pictures. So
please send them.
KFDM.com/chime in is a place you can send them. If you get a really good one, you can go to the contest page and submit it to our Weather Watcher contest, give you a chance to win one of our umbrellas. But at any point, I lost my train of thought. So
that's all right.
Continue.
Let's look at the accumulated snow. Now this, again, we can fudge these numbers a little bit, and we have. We think that the initial numbers that this model was putting out were probably a little bit too high, so we backed it off a little bit, and generally to the 3 to 5, maybe 6 inch totals here, Southeast Texas. We do believe, yes, the heavier snow will be east of us, probably from Lake Charles east toward Lafayette and Baton Rouge. And kind of, you can see that whitish area there. That's right at a foot of snow possible.
Exactly. Russell says, hey, this feels like the day before a hurricane, except we're getting the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much.
When Greg's in a polo, it's bad. So, At any rate, how many snacks should I get for the next 3 days? As many as you can eat. Let's see. They canceled Vital School for Tuesday. Yeah, probably Wednesday as well. For in a lot of places for sure.
Yeah, I know Port Arthur is definitely closed for Wednesday.
Nederland as well. Let's see. You guys want to build the snowman? Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm sure though. Morning show Tuesday morning.
They'll probably be out there building a snowman.
Building a snowman.
Probably so.
Especially during ARC. So look for that during the 8 o'clock hour. Thunder snow, winter thunderstorm, yes. They're going to put sand and rocks on the highways.
You know, they've gotten away from the sand some. They use more of that chemical treatment. But yeah, they may do a little bit of sanding too.
Yeah. Do they use salt down here?
No, it's a chemical treatment they use. Yeah.
Yeah, salt was in Iowa and it just tears up your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see.
I'll show you another graphic here. This is what we think the impacts will be, and we'll go ahead and put snow as the number one threat. It's not sleet, it's not freezing rain, and obviously it's not rain because we're not going to see any rain, but snow. And it's not very often we can say that. I mean, it's very rare. I've been here, approaching 50 years, and the number of times that I have seen just straight snow come in, I don't think I can even. I don't think I've ever seen just snow starting from snow.
I say freezing rain is going to be primarily.
We see transitions.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen where we get freezing rain, then it goes to sleet, it gets a little colder. And this is what happened in 21, if you remember. We started out freezing rain, then went to sleet, and then finally toward the end went to a mixture of snow. So the snow is always the last thing to come into play.
So the old wives' tale is if you get a hurricane, then following winter you get snow. How is that correlating? I mean, in your history, obviously this year it happened.
1960 it didn't work.
No.
And 1973 it didn't work.
Okay.
Now the last few years it has worked. So I don't know.
Coincidence.
I think it's still coincidence, but it is interesting to note that. Let's look. I think we got temperatures. Yeah, this is important here. Wednesday morning temperatures. Now this is relying on the fact that you're going to have a snowpack. That's the only reason we're getting to that extreme cold. In fact, we will be colder than I know we will. We'll be colder than Dallas, for example, because it's the snow. Dallas won't have snow. We'll have snow. So you get this snow cover. You have the clear skies, light winds. The temperature just bottoms out. So 14, 15 degrees, very, very possible. I wouldn't be shocked to see even a little bit colder than that in a couple spots.
Yeah, a couple folks are asking about the winds with all of this. The winds obviously were gusty yesterday and today. I think we'll probably see some gusts up around 30 miles an hour. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I don't think there'll be sustained winds. I mean, Tuesday definitely will be breezy, but Wednesday for sure, very light winds across South.
Yeah, the interesting note on that 1895 storm, that was essentially close to, we don't know for sure if it was a blizzard, but it was very close to it because a very intense low, kind of like what here is occurring, not as strong, this low coming across, but they actually measured about 30 inches of snow, but on the north sides of buildings, because of the strong winds, they actually had snow drifts 4 and 5 feet deep against the north side of buildings. So it was an amazing storm back in 1895.
Faith comments, snow then hurricane sounds like step on a crack, break your mama's back.
Maybe so.
So how many hours stretch will we have where we don't get above freezing? Well, let's count them here. We start Tuesday night.
Well, we'll start actually Monday night probably.
Monday night, right.
So let's say midnight. Well, before that, let's say 6 p.m.
Yeah, 7 o'clock Monday.
So we go 24 hours to Tuesday at 6 p.m. Very likely 24 hours the next day. So we're 40, we could be 60 or more.
Yeah, 60 or more hours below freezing.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Do you remember a stretch that long where we've had below freezing?
It has happened. I remember in the 97 ice storm, we were right at about 3 days, close. Yeah. We had so much ice.
I remember I was working in Louisiana at the time, and the week or two after that is when I came over for my interview. And that's all anybody could talk about was the ice storm.
That was a devastating thing because it was just straight ice. There was no sleet. It was just all freezing rain. And a lot of people get those two confused, by the way. We'll go over that real quick. Freezing rain is liquid all the way down until it reaches the ground and reaches some surface, be it a telephone pole, a tree, a stop sign, whatever. And because that object is at freezing or below, it instantly glazes, and you have this horrific situation where you just have a coating of ice on everything.
So here's what we're talking about. I got the graphic up now.
Right. So
the different types of precipitation. I showed this a couple times during the morning show earlier in the week. Again, when it's cold way up top and it stays warm all the way down to the surface, that's rain.
Right.
So we get that. Of course, temperatures any time of the year at that level are going to be cold. Then the freezing rain, which is more common here in Southeast Texas, where it's cold above, you get a warm nose that is a pretty big warm nose, and then it doesn't get cold until right at the ground. That's when the rain freezes on contact, so you get the freezing rain. The sleet, that's when you get that refreezing before it hits the ground. That's when the ice pellets form. And then basically sleet is an ice pellet. It's basically a fancy word for that. And then like tomorrow, we're going to have the cold air from top to bottom, and it's going to be all snow.
Yeah, there's some slight chance there might be enough of a warm wedge up there to get sleet briefly. I mean,
To
it's not
start.
impossible
To start, yeah.
to start, but once it starts to, precipitation starts, if it is starting out as a little bit of sleet, it will quickly go to snow.
All right. You got anything else to add?
That's about it. I mean, we're going to be watching this. We're keeping social media updated as much as possible. I know your Facebook page, a lot of mine is as well. KFDM Facebook page. There's a lot of sources out there, and of course, Aaron Mack will be on at 10 o'clock tonight on KFDM. He'll be sharing information as well. And we have Fox, I believe, at 9 o'clock. Is it still on schedule for 9 o'clock? So Fox 4.
I'll be on starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning, 4:30 to 8, and then I'll probably make some appearances during both ARC at 8 o'clock and then at 10 o'clock, and of course at noon. At noon's when we'll really start kind of really ganging down and really kind of buckling down on the timeline as far as the beginning of everything. Greg will be here shortly after noon tomorrow. We'll probably aim for a Facebook Live sometime between noon and the 5 o'clock show.
Sure.
Maybe even. Because I'm on so many times during the morning, I don't know if we'll have time for one in the morning, but we'll certainly update things on Facebook throughout.
Right.
So
right.
Again, want to appreciate everybody's watching this for as long as we've been on, and thanks for the comments. Of course, keep commenting on the Facebook post. We'll answer the questions as they come in. But for now, for Chief Meteorologist Greg Boswick, I'm Meteorologist Chad Samuel.
Thank you for joining us.
Over here on the side, keeping tabs on things as well. So catch him tonight at 9 o'clock and at 10 on KFDM. Until then, have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Keith hasn't told me yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll probably be live in the field tomorrow, maybe somewhere in front of the building or something.
Right.
Tomorrow and Tuesday.
Sounds good.
That is how you do that.
It turned out pretty well. I think we must have had good audio because I didn't hear anybody complaining.
Nobody complained.
That's a good sign.
What time?